Capricorn be like, we are of the industry, we are of the creed. Virgo be like, we are moderating the industry and the creed, and we're in the reality of this shit. And we could lean in different ways based on how our sun sign is impacted by other shit. Taurus is like, oh shit, I didn't know I was a part of this, but I am a part of this shit, and now I'm gonna grow to be an individual of the earth, fixed sign being a unique individual of the element. And Taurus be like, if there's some good structure around it, let's go for the ride, let's go for the thrill, let's go for the adventure, let's go for the journey, let's commit to some ride or die shit. Let me be the ride or die for this night thrill type of shit, and feeling into, like, some type of commitment, Moon and Taurus, feeling into that commitment with the earth signs. And the moon being in Taurus, trining Sun in Virgo, that's like a elemental gift for us to bring to the forefront. Earth qualities on how we're just feeling, how we have to work towards commitment, how we could work towards, once the commitment is kind of its own thing, and we understand the nature of we have to like do some type of work to earn and receive the adventure. We have to be we kind of have to be shaping our character around Virgoan qualities, such as like taking a look at in the mirror of where we stand at the end of the first moon cycle, and how the end of the first moon cycle is dictating the results for the next moon cycle of what we could handle in the next moon cycle. And then compensation astrology, we could lean on the caps to make a compensation grand trine of earth, and now we could bring our earth qualities better into wherever we landed, wherever the F we're at right now, because it's a never-ending journey, obviously. So Moon and Taurus is like, or just Tauruses in general, they're just like they're very ride or die type of shit, and they're very, and like all the earth signs, they're something of like a unique like gatekeeper as well, because they're just of that earth element. They're digesting and perceiving how to be in the earth reality. So there's something of a gatekeeper. So it's like, you're not necessarily gonna like go into the quote unquote party end quote if you didn't pass the practical test of like just the earth shit. So Moon and Taurus, that's like nighttime Venus. So it's like feeling into like, what do we have to do to really on the top of the rooftop? And another thing within that is like, there's a theme of that, the sixth line in HD, or just the I Ching, that energy quality, it represents the top of the rooftop. And some people in life, they're naturally akin to just being on top of the rooftop and just observing. Taurus is like, it's kind of like just shut up and watch the movie type of shit, just like watch what's going on, like I understand that part. But like, I'm daytime Venus, I'm like fucking, I'm kind of like the energetically, I'm kind of like something of just like something of just like a worker, I'm just kind of like my own bee, in my human life. I'm just my own like bumblebee or something like that. So like I understand like that perspective of just like just shut up and watch the movie type of shit. That's Taurus. Shut up, we're on the journey, enjoy the journey, do what you got to do type of shit, like obviously. So like, so Libra and Taurus, how nighttime Venus and daytime Venus is kind of like angled. It's very unique because it's they're both Venus ruled, but so Venus is like, her daytime and nighttime, it's in such an angle where it's like, it's abstract, it's abstract because it's not an opposition, it's not like a clean cut angle. So that abstractness of Venus, nighttime and daytime, that is the unique puzzle in itself. Taurus and Libra, that is the Venusian puzzle. And that Venusian puzzle, without the intellect of the balanced Venus, quote unquote Lucifer, end quote, then that Venus journey of real, like the real balance of Venus, it will be over our head, and we'll just be kind of unconsciously going through that, and we'll be going up and down the confusion in and out of that, because obviously all of us just want to have like, obviously all of us just want to have some type of enjoyment, like no shit, you know. But what do we have to do to sustain that? That's the type of shit that people just don't have the critical thinking. And I'm just doing this for my own like reflection of quote unquote all this self, end quote, and my balance with the greater picture. And like, and aside from what I feel, that's the real fucking logic behind it, you know. So within this transit of just Moon and Taurus going into Gemini, we're gonna feel like you know, when the Moon is in Gemini, we're gonna feel kind of like the message could be kind of aggressive, you know, the communication could be aggressive, you know, the magic could be kind of aggressive, because that's masculine Mercury, and masculine Mercury is just like, this is where the state of the intelligence is within the current times of today. That's Gemini, you know. And they're just gonna do whatever they're gonna do because the communication is just going towards them, and they're embodying that in a unique way, and the replications don't necessarily matter to them, you know. So that's the Moon going, and we're gonna feel that unconsciously to perhaps consciously, you know. So thank you very much. And what do you call that? Yeah, so the sun and the moon, and then the earth is obviously in Pisces, and it's important to see that the earth is in Pisces, because the earth is something of like it's something of like the quote unquote what do you call that, the clay pot, respectively, end quote. And shout out to the Vedanta traditions, obviously. It's the clay pot. We don't necessarily know what soil is in the clay pot. We just know where the metaphorical clay pot is our body, and we don't know the soil of all these micro elements going through the clay pot, but we could follow up on the information of the unconscious earth body, earth in Pisces. So earth in Pisces is, you know, there's going to be a lot of feelings, a lot of changing feelings, you know, the sun and the earth, the sun digesting and processing the visuals of the outer reality, of the outer reality, the sun, and that sun digesting the micronutrients and elements of the reality towards the collective unconscious earth body, Pisces, earth and Pisces. And within that, everything's changing, mutable earth, and we're gonna have a bunch of moody moods and feelings based on how everything is changing, you know. And how everything's changing, we're somehow in the middle of like unique thresholds, and within being in the middle of unique thresholds, reality is kind of like intersecting with like low-key like fantasy worlds, right? So Taurus is also low-key about like it's low-key about like I don't know why cosplay is coming to mind, you know, but it's like, you know, we gotta like we gotta know our role in like the movie, pretty much. We could try to know our role in the movie, and as we try to know our role in the movie, and I understand the Vedanta stuff is like everything's coming through us. That's such a different trip, you know. That's not, because like obviously if we're in a simulation, then somewhere inside there's a different order and chaos that's regulating that simulation, and we're going through that order and chaos to more or less quote unquote be liberated from the simulation within this life, and then we could choose to come back if we want to or not. But Taurus is like about like seeing how all of the seeing how it takes a whole production team to make an anime for what an anime is, you know. To like to make an anime for what it is, we have to see what systems are working for us, for our movie, to watch a movie, you know, if that makes sense. So it's bringing to the forefront like what creative, you know, what creative like props need to be included within the movie that you want to make. you know, or participate in, because it's a co-creation, you know. It's a co-creation, co-creation, yeah, 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 co-creation, co-creation, yeah, 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 yeah. It's a co-creation, co-creation.